John Wayne beat.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, look. Too hot, the haters know they can't fade us. Headed to the top, just stay tuned for the latest. Soon as the episode drop, they gotta play us. All I know is we got the flavor.
What's up? It's your boy Los LOS for the Flava Podcast. You are listening and watching the Flava Podcast. What's up, Liz? How you doing?
Hello, Lois. I'm back.
Liz, you know, we're kind of wearing the same clothes we were wearing for the last pod.
Oh, gosh. I hope they don't notice. I didn't get to change, you guys.
So we were introducing earlier someone new to the pod. She goes by the name of Jasmine. Jasmine will be doing the correspondence on a new segment we'll be having on the show. What you think about Jasmine?
Oh, I love her. Great energy. Oh, my goodness. And her vibe is just perfect. I think she's going to be a great fit.
Right? And just her voice as well. So I thought it was really
Very
good.
Soothing. And I can bounce off her.
Yeah, because
can't bounce much off you.
Right, because a lot of people actually listen to podcasts more than they watch the podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think
have that voice.
Yeah, I think that'd be great for the Red Circle stuff, and then people listening to Spotify and the Apple Music and all that stuff there.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have her and her segments.
Yeah.
And everything that she brings.
So how's you been in your week?
It's been a really good week. Welcome back. I've been out for a bit.
That's right. She was gone. If you guys didn't see the last one, she's been gone for 2 episodes.
2 episodes. So healing. A lot of healing, a lot of inner work, which has been really, really good. These last few days have been amazing. And then it was my anniversary with my husband.
Yes, it was. How was that?
It was really beautiful. So everything was just like planned at the last minute because my son wanted to go to New Jersey. So we made that happen. You know, my son's pushing to be a championship boxer. Mom's supporting as much as I can. So we took him to New Jersey to see an event that he really wanted to watch. And that was our anniversary. We did not spend the day together because that was the same day of the event. That's our anniversary. But just like I told my husband, you know, our wonderful 11 years together, if one night is just him and my son, that's okay. I'm like, we'll celebrate, you know, another day. And the day after, we went to the, it's like a pier by New Jersey. We walked by the water, just spent time together. We went out to eat and drove back 12 hours. Very long drive.
Yeah, you guys did not fly out there.
No, we did not use. I did not use my credit card for flying points because I'm afraid to fly. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now is a very interesting time.
I will jump on a plane.
I would
right
not. No, thank you.
I'll question it. I will question it.
For me, it's not even the safety of the plane. For me is, you know me. You know what I'm dealing with. You know.
You might be taken.
I might be taken. Ma'am, this card does not have the yellow star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They could have identified you so quick now without that yellow star.
That is crazy.
Yeah. No, people don't think about that. But that yellow star, that's what that means. So you're a citizen. I mean, hello. How are they going to not identify us?
That is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to fly. So we drove there. We drove back. It was, it was fun. Then yesterday got to see, I spent some time with my cousins. Got to see nieces that I haven't seen in years. And I think it's just so beautiful being a part of this healing process that's taken in with my entire family because it started with me, right? It started with me putting things out there and saying something has to change.
You're the one breaking those generational curses.
Yes, because I cannot have cousins that don't know their cousins. Right. And that's what's happening. And it's normalized now that cousins don't hang out anymore, you know? Yeah. And I don't want that because the day that we're not here, right? And my cousins that are my age, who are our kids gonna go to? You know, who is gonna be their family? Who is gonna be their person to fall back on, to rely on? And I saw it with a really close friend of mine. Her name is Rochelle. Shout out Rochelle. She's in her 70s, and she lost her only son about 2 years ago. Her only son, and when I was at her son's funeral and I saw the disconnect within the family and how it took a funeral to bring people back together.
Yeah, that sucks.
That haven't seen each other in 10, 15, 20 years. And we're talking about cousins, uncles, aunts. I'm like, I can't bear that.
Yeah, it takes a funeral, a death to bring them all together. Yeah,
and I'm like, in my family, whose death is it going to be to bring all of us back? I don't want that. So just being able to, I was there yesterday. My cousin invited me, and just seeing my cousin's kids, and I'm like, oh my God, they're like almost adults. Like, it's just so crazy and it's so beautiful. And I just soaked it all in. So just being able to be part of that and witnessing it, so beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah, I also spent some family time yesterday with a bunch of my nieces. My family's mostly girls.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how many girls. My God, it's so many of them. It's
my family too.
It's all girls and one boy.
One boy.
Yeah, well, two boys because my son as well, but my nephew.
Yeah.
But it's like 13 girls. It's like a bunch of girls.
Okay.
And not all of them were there yesterday, but most of them were. So it was just fun watching them be together again.
Yes.
Because I pictured them when my sister was alive, and my sister used to hold these events at the house.
Yeah.
And I would call them events because she would put things together just for the nephews and nieces.
Yeah.
Right? Well, the nieces and nephew.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me about my sister and how she used to bring the family together. And just looking around and looking at my mom. And I think I almost had a tear in my eye because I'm looking at my mom and I'm like, "Se está viejita."
Yeah.
And these kids that were kids and they used to run around her house, they're older now.
They're adults.
They're 19, they're 20, they're 21. Some are 30, some already have kids. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. You're watching it full circle.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at my knees like, damn, I'm old. they're over there squatting to playing games. I'm like, I couldn't do that. I can't get back up.
Same. I was watching my because I call them my nieces. They're my cousin's kids, so they're like my second nieces. But watching them, dance, and they're of legal age of drinking, and with the little chelas, and I'm just like,
they did that yesterday in front of me. I'm like, what are you doing drinking?
Oh, yeah.
Theo, I'm 21.
Yeah.
I'm
like, what do you mean 21? Where? Because you still see them as kids. I don't think that image will ever go away, even when they're married and have their own kids.
Yeah, I'm the same way with my son. Them. My son, he had a small little cabinet in his apartment when he was living here in Chicago. And, it was a liquor cabinet. And I was just like... What are you doing drinking? He's like, I'm 30 something years old, bro.
Yeah. What are you doing asking me?
Right. I have kids. Hello. I'm married.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're punished.
You're punished. Can't come out of your room.
Right. No Nintendo.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think that mentality just stays there, but it's funny when we see it happening and we see those train of thoughts like, wait a minute, I can't get mad at them. They're legal age.
They're growing up.
They're growing up. Yeah.
So you ready?
I am ready.
All right. It's time for Hot Topic. So, Liz, what's your hot topic?
Well, it came out in the news that Mr. Trump is legalizing teachers to use corporal punishment. Really? But in doing research, I found out that was...
Papa Trump is doing that?
Yeah, but doing research, I learned that is already legal.
It is. It's been legal. Yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah. Hold on, let me tell you. Only 5 states. 5 states out of 50. Or 51. Is it 50? 51? Did we turn 51 yet?
We're only 50 states.
50, okay.
He's trying to make Canada 51.
Okay,
but
we're not there yet. Okay,
we're not there yet.
Cool. So 50 states. Out of 50 states, only 5 prohibit corporal punishment. I didn't know this. Illinois, thankfully. Thank you guys. Thank you, Governor of Illinois, for prohibiting corporal punishment. New York, Maryland, and New Jersey are a few of the states that do not allow corporal punishment. But this was a bomb of information for me because I had no idea. Like, what?
So you move to Florida, you find out your kid's getting his butt whipped by his teacher. It's like, but this is okay.
This is
kind of legal.
What?
As long as I don't leave marks.
I could not. My mind was still grappling, like grasping this information. Like, you're telling me that in Florida or another state, California, you're telling me that the teacher...
Oh, California also?
California is one of them.
California.
No, it's not on the list.
It's a big Democratic state.
Yeah, it's not on the list. California was not on the prohibit list. It's on the allowed list. It's on the allowed list.
It's on whip your butt list.
Don't whip your butt. So I'm just like, wait a minute. And then I'm thinking, Illinois does not have the best reputation in education. Is that a factor? Now we're thinking. So then we might need the whoopings to get them to pay attention.
Ain't nobody whipping my kids. Well, my kids are old now. But nobody whipping my grandchildren.
Nobody whipping my grandchildren.
Then again, my grandchildren are in Washington states.
And that one was not in here, so that one is allowed to use corporal punishment.
Little Psalm, she might get her little butt with, but Psalm's a little toughy.
Little ruler. Yeah, no, but that was a huge thing because they were making it really big on the news, right? That he's signing this, form or whatever. But then I'm like, wait, it's not that big because it's already illegal. Mm-hmm. So what are you really doing?
Is that things are being brought out to the public now, and putting eyes on it. So therefore, it's a big thing. But it's a big thing. It's actually people are not actually doing it. But once you say it, you're allowed to, and people are hearing this now, and they didn't know just like you. Yeah. Now they're like, okay, well now we're gonna do it.
Yeah, now we're gonna.
Because now I didn't know that they were allowed to.
Y'all better get ready.
Better get ready for some lawsuits. That's what's gonna happen. A bunch of lawsuits.
Lawyers.
People are gonna be in the courtrooms.
Lawyers are gonna be busy.
So mine hot topic for today would be Shannon Sharpe.
Oh,
Shannon Sharpe, Mr. Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, Mr.
Looks like he got himself in trouble. And I could see if he's doing something wrong. Yeah. But just like the Diddy case, if he's doing something wrong, yes, lock them up. I'm all for if they're doing something wrong, lock them up. Yeah. But if they're getting locked up for just being freaky, that's just dumb.
Wait, you gotta catch me up on what happened with him. I honestly, I didn't even.
Well, supposedly he had a younger girl. She was 19.
That pretty girl that's accusing him of stuff now.
Right. Okay. So they were down or doing whatever they were doing, and sometimes it was a little bit rough or whatnot. Okay. But after a while, I guess she didn't want to. Okay. And she did vocalize that or whatnot, supposedly, right? So he didn't comply to her wishes. So therefore, now she's put a lawsuit. Yeah. What she did put a lawsuit was for $10,000. Sorry, $10 million. Oh, which is $10,000 would be nothing for Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. $10 million. And they were.
It just sounds like extortion.
They were in court for that, going back and forth, right? Yeah. They were talking about it. Not court. What do you call it before they go to court? They were in talks. They were in talks about that. Yeah. That $10 million. But then I guess he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." Yeah. And now he's got a new deal with, I think with Netflix. I think he has a new deal with.
Oh, did they cancel?
So she raised it from 10 to 50 million.
Oh.
Because she saw the new deal.
Oh.
So therefore, now she put out the information, or the information got out.
Yeah.
And now it's a big whole thing that he forced me to do these sexual things.
It just sounds like extortion.
But she's caught on tape as well, wanting those sexual advances and whatnot. Yeah. So it's just a big old revolú.
Yeah,
like Spanish
Bill Cosby,
mess.
Like Bill Cosby's case, kind of.
No, Bill Cosby was drugging people.
I was waiting for you.
It was not like Bill Cosby whatsoever. He was like drugging people.
See what you said about
he was
Bill
like,
Cosby.
Look that way. Bloop. Here you go. Bloop. He was not like Bill Cosby.
No, he's guilty. Okay, so
mad guilty, and he's out of jail too.
Is he?
Yeah, Bill Cosby's out of jail.
Dang,
he's been out of jail.
I need to catch up on these famous folks. I thought he was still behind bars. Yeah, I thought he was like with R. Kelly.
He probably was with R. Kelly, but not no more. R. Kelly's in there by himself. R. Kelly's in there with Diddy.
Yeah, they're both in there together. Dang, that's crazy.
So Shannon Sharpe is going through
it. He's going through it
right now.
Yeah, he's going through it.
And he's saying, look, I know she was young, whatnot. But y'all looking at me because he's like 30 years older than her.
Yeah, because she was like 19.
She was 19.
Yeah.
She was 19 years old.
Baby, you got
so he was like, getting his thing out. She's 19 years old. And she's legal. That's what he's thinking, you know what I'm saying? But 19 years old, you're not mature yet. No. And you're going to talk. Mm-hmm. You're definitely going to talk.
When you don't get what you want, baby, let me tell you.
I don't want 10 now. I want 50 million. I want 50. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's bananas.
But hey, all your actions, every single action you make, or every single decision, it will take you to one place or another.
Yeah, but my thing is why did he have to go with a 19-year-old?
Yeah, exactly.
He's Shannon Sharpe. He has so much money. Why can't you just get somebody, hang out with somebody, do your thing with somebody that's around your age?
Mature.
But 30 years older than you? It's like, that's a little too much.
You are asking for trouble. And he knew better. I mean, you're asking for trouble when you're messing with someone who's under 21. It's just the maturity level.
Right. What do you guys talk about? It's like, what are you talking about?
She just literally graduated high school, my guy.
Right. He's listening to Temptations. She's listening to Sexy Red. It's like, it's not the same.
It's not the same. You have absolutely nothing in common.
Right. Like, it's just a arroz blanco con habichuela. I mean, arroz blanco, was it? Con pollo guisado, Or I forgot how you say it, but it's not. It doesn't match. No, it doesn't match.
Not at all. And then when you have a platform and you have that much power. It's like, why would you even want that type of attention, like to you? That don't make sense. Men sometimes don't think with the right brain.
Right. Well, I hope that if he is innocent and she's just looking for money, that he gets off. But if he did something wrong, and she could prove it, hey, sorry, buddy. Yeah. You might have to go to jail. You might have to give up that $50 million.
Mm-hmm. Just like with everyone that is in those situations, you have to make sure that you make the right decision when you're put in those temptations, and he didn't. Hugely attack of the flesh. Mm-hmm. Hugely. Yep.
So we're going to go into a commercial, and we'll be right back with our guest. Peace. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los LOS from the Flava Podcast. Yo, I want to talk to you about Exact Services. These are handyman that came to my rental apartment and they gave it a whole makeover. They painted, they patched up the holes in the walls, they fixed a faucet, they did the floors, they even put new screens at my windows. Y'all got to call these guys at 312-860-4225, 312-860-4225, and remember, you have flavor. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los from the Flava Podcast. Did you know that in a research study, Rashi has been shown to have anti-cancer properties, anti-tumor effects? It helps detox the body and regulates the immune system. Whether your immune system needs to be controlled or boosted, Gano can help you there. And natural coffee that changes people's lives. Get your daily dose of 150 antioxidants in 1 cup while enjoying the flavor of this beautiful coffee. Natural coffee never tasted this good.
All right, and we are back. Welcome back to the Flava Podcast Network, and we're back with Los and our beautiful guest, Jennifer Sanchez. Hey, girl. Hey, welcome to the table.
Yes.
So, Jennifer, we're going to play a game called This or That. You ready?
I guess. Yeah.
Well, first of all, we want to thank you for being on the Flava Podcast.
Of course. My pleasure.
We've been knowing each other for over a year.
Finally.
What do you mean you've been ignoring each other?
No. Knowing.
I thought you said ignoring. I'm like, what do you mean?
Did I say ignoring? No.
It sounded like
it sounded like you said ignoring.
It's a Spanglish. People understand the Spanglish comes out.
Ignoring her.
Knowing each other. Nice. And actually, we're around each other quite a bit.
Okay.
But she's extremely busy. She is a serial entrepreneur herself.
Yeah, I was hearing earlier.
She's extremely busy.
Wear a few hats.
Yeah, I do. It's busy, and I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I've been waiting for this invitation.
She's like, I've been waiting, just so you know. Waiting.
But there wasn't another invitation. But it wasn't to be a guest. It was actually to be a host to help me out.
Oh yeah, that was I remember, and I was like, I'm not available.
Yeah, she wasn't available, and I was like, shucks. But she was going to be on the show before. But I love that she's on the show now. I love that she's showing us love.
Yes.
Because you are somebody here in Chicago that should be seen. And if I could give you that platform, I will.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So we're going to play This or That. You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so it'll be silly. Some are silly, some are not. Some are serious. Answer the ones you want to. You don't have to answer any of them, but it's up to you, okay?
I plead the fifth. No.
But to do a great show, answer them.
Okay.
Thoroughly, deeply.
I will have fun with this.
Okay, cool. So, Tom or Jerry?
Jerry.
Why?
He always got away, man. He knew how to
his little mouse with the plan.
He always knew how to duck and cover and escape, so he was clever. That little mouse was clever.
Word. Okay.
I agree.
So Jerry, you want to jump in?
I sure will.
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
Oh, I'm a coffee girl.
Coffee girl.
Always. I mean, coffee chat. It's literally, I go visit coffee shops. I love coffee. Absolutely.
Is it the taste or the energy that you feel?
It don't do nothing to me, to be honest with you. I got ADHD, so it doesn't really do much, but it's more of the taste. It's the experience, just trying at different restaurants. I just love it.
You know what? I love that you said coffee because you have to say coffee because it's a part of your show.
It's a part of my show.
It's a part of your show, coffee chat.
Yeah, the wise. Yeah, coffee chat. It's all about getting together and drinking coffee. When I would do run groups, which I have it on pause, we would go get coffee afterwards.
Nice.
It was always revolved around coffee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
Love it.
So, Batman or Superman?
I've always liked Batman.
Why?
Detective, mysterious. His background story, right? Like his parents got killed, and he he always ran away from the cops. The cops were always chasing him, right? In the cartoon version, right? Yeah. And it was like he always got away and he always had these cool gadgets, right? Like Superman's cool, like he could fly. Okay, and you have laser eyes. Like that's cool. And you came from a planet. But like I felt like I was more connected with Batman when I would watch it. I would watch the show as a kid.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I didn't know that he got chased by cops.
He did, yeah, really? At times because he's a vigilante.
Oh, okay. Dubai or Hawaii?
Well, I'm going to pick... I shouldn't be smacking my lips. That's annoying. Sorry.
Professional.
I was just like, I caught myself. I guess I would do Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah. The reason why is because, one, it's closer to Jordan and the Middle East over there. Two, I have connections. You know, my ex-family was from Jordan. So, I know they always went to Dubai. And, so I was like, I'll pick Dubai.
Dubai.
For sure.
Yeah,
okay. Chicago Cubs or Chicago Sox?
Jesus, why do you do this? So I will say this, because I'm a North Sider, raised on the North Side. Can I just say both? Okay, so the reason why, let me explain why. Cubs, because I was raised on the North Side. Yeah. Everyone's a Cubs fan around me, right? Mm-hmm. But I will give Sox the family orientation. Like, they're more family oriented.
Yeah.
Because when I went to like a Cubs game, it was a party, get drunk, woo, right? Yeah. But when we went to a Sox game, they actually invited my kids onto the field. They ran around the
bases.
The bases, It was just more oriented towards them, the family experience. So I like both.
That's awesome. I've never been to a Sox game.
I agree. The Sox, I'm neither or. I'm a Yankee fan. But I agree with the Sox. They are more family oriented.
And they do have programs, right, for kids. I'm pretty sure I've seen a program the White Sox have for
They do. Well,
kids.
they're trying to get the family in because the place is always empty.
You know what? We're not gonna go there. Don't listen to them, White Sox. Y'all do your thing.
I'll be at Comiskey or whatever they call it these days. Because when the Yankees come, that's where I go. What do they call it now? U.S. Cellular?
Guarantee rate? No.
Oh, now it's guarantee rate?
Oh, U.S. Cellular was before guarantee rate.
Yeah, it was U.S. Cellular.
Whatever they call that place.
Now
it's Comiskey to me. I'm old school, from the old days. So.
You're showing your age.
Yes, I always show my age. They see me. People see me walking. They're like, yeah, he's old.
He's old. You don't look old, though. That's a good thing.
So, white rice or arroz con habichuela?
I'm Mexican, so...
Ooh, Mexican rice.
We do Mexican rice up in here. But I love arroz con gandules and, y'all be having some fire rice. So.
Word. Okay, that wasn't hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
I like the white rice because you can sauce it up with the beans on, get the black beans on the side. And you sauce it up real quick.
First of all, I'm a fatty. I like all rice. But, I like the arroz con gandules and all. Like, that just, I don't know, has more flavor. The sofrito, like, I don't know,
Especially you mentioned right now playing around that you're a fatty. I gotta say this because I've seen past pictures of you.
Yeah,
you've been in the gym, girl. You've been getting it on. I mean, from the times I guess so maybe 5-10 years ago, whatever it was, to today, you've really put in some work.
I have. I've been really. That's what happens when you get divorced, right? Like,
what is that depression way? You just lose the weight.
It's getting
or
back.
Freedom.
Getting back in the game. Let's get back in the game. That's what it is.
It's not even like trying to get in the game. It was more like my mental health, right? Mm-hmm. It was more about just like, let me shed this weight off. Let me focus on me, right? And you have more time on your hands. Yeah. So it's like, okay, let me pour into myself. So yeah, I went from marathon running and then I really got into lifting weights and, really I love lifting. That's I did a little bit of boxing. Like I do title boxing, but not like, I ain't trying to fight people, all right? Like I'm just trying to work out. I know there's some combos, like, but yeah, like I definitely have shed some good amount of weight. And the funny thing is the scale hasn't moved a lot, but the muscle mass, you see the muscle mass for sure.
You toned yourself.
You tone up. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Love that.
You got one?
I don't. I ran out.
I'm kind of
my mind went blank.
Right I don't want to say my favorite one because the favorite one's always for the last one.
Yeah.
Like, this can't be the last one.
Yeah, this can't be the last.
It cannot. Oh, so R&B?
Oh, okay.
Or hip hop?
Dang. Should have said house music.
House is cool, but no, I'm not. We talked about this before.
Yes, we have.
And I'm a 90s R&B girl. Like, I love
best.
90s R&B, right? I love how the music now too, the R&B now, like these young girls that are singing, it's bring me back to like, it sounds a little bit Aaliyah-ish. It sounds a little bit old school. Some stuff now, I'm like, okay, I could vibe with some of this stuff that these girls are singing nowadays. Yeah. But I still like hip hop though. Like, you know, I'm still like, I'll be playing that music. I'll play the 3 6 Mafia. I'll still like,
she went hood. She said 3 6 Mafia.
You know?
I thought I was about to hear like Tribe Called Quest. She said 3 6 Mafia.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
You know, I like even today, what I listened to today, 50. I was listening to 50 Cent. G Unit. I literally was like, play G Unit. Like,
G-Unit.
You know, but when he was with Lloyd Banks and like that group,
right.
you know, so I was like, I love music, hip hop and R&B. I love it.
So what would you say, Liz?
If you're hip hop or between those two?
Yeah.
Definitely R&B.
Yeah, I'm R&B all day.
R&B. I mean, I love hip hop.
I got that Jodeci in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got that Boys to Men. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. Definitely R&B. I mean, hip hop is still gonna have a home forever, you know. But no, I rather just groove to some R&B.
Yeah, I'm totally groove. You heard earlier what music I was playing.
He was playing some really interesting 80s music earlier.
I was even listening to that music I put on in the beginning. The funk that I put on. That's the. You didn't like the funk?
Well, it was good, but the first few ones were like a little downers.
Look, somebody. Where's my camera? I was playing. Earlier, I was just playing some whack stuff. She was just letting me know it was whack, and I was like, I'm not even listening to that, but she's correct. It was whack. But Red, I forgot their names now. Red Tulip, no, Red.
Chili Peppers.
Hold on.
I don't know why.
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No, not Hot Chili Peppers.
Like, I don't know why I'm thinking Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Lotus. Red Lotus. Look them up. They're funk.
Okay.
So you hear a lot of trumpets, you hear a lot of bongos, timbales.
Okay.
You hear a lot of that. And I love funk music, so yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't thinking it.
I wasn't thinking it. I mean, the first few ones were like, no.
They only played like 2.
Oh, that was one?
The rest of them were like that random stuff that was just playing.
Okay. Well, then the first one was no good. That second one, I felt it a little groovier than the first one. But now the first one was like,
Okay, cool. So we're on to the most important question.
yes, this is the serious one.
The serious question of all times.
Yes.
All right.
The most serious.
Let's get it.
Chicago pizza or New York pizza?
What?
Yeah, it's a very serious question.
Very serious question. People have died over this.
I'm not a big like deep dish girl, man.
But that's not, deep dish is not,
Deep
it
dish
is Chicago pizza, but we have different kinds of pizza.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, then, I mean, no, not New York. I don't like that paper thin stuff. So
Okay.
So
you-
Chicago.
Chicago. You don't like the pie. That's what they call
I
it
don't
in
like
New
the
York.
pies. Yeah, no.
So the pie is Bocce's pizza.
But
I need to try bocce's then.
I thought the pie was
Haven't tried
everywhere. Like Giordano's, you could order that pie. You could order the deep dish. I'm like, it's cool. It gets you one slice gets you stuffed. Like okay, but I like thin crust pizza, not too thin.
Okay.
You know, and squares. Like,
He said they gotta be in squares.
They gotta be in squares.
Not triangles.
No, not triangles. Because you know what? I grew up on Domino's and triangles and Pizza Hut. And then when I came across like little spots like not Giordano's, like Illuminati's or stuff, places like that.
they cut
the
it in
Mama Luna's,
squares.
they do little squares. And I'm like, oh, wait, what's this? Like my whole life changed, you know?
That was serious. My whole life changed.
I never, you know, now I order pizza a certain way. No, I could eat pizza all day, every day. Literally.
So now did you pick Chicago? What pizza place would you go to? What's your go-to?
What's my go-to?
If you order pizza,
place?
what's your go-to? Or go to a place, because sometimes we can't order from the place that we like to go to.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day, man. I used to be a Bocce's girl.
A Bocce's pizza?
I was.
Those are big
girl.
jumbo slices.
No, I know.
That's a pie.
I know. That's not even it. But I was just thinking, like, which one would be my go-to? Sometimes when I'm hungry and I just want something real quick. Or, okay, Rosati's. Rosati's. I do Rosati's. They have a lot of Rosati's.
They are really good.
Yeah.
I had Rosati's.
Rosati's.
See, that's how you know you're not a pizza person.
No, I am a pizza person because I stay with Pequod's. That's why.
No, you
Pequod's
have
is the
to
best pizza in the world.
I gotta try Pequod's. I mean, Mama Luna's. I've done that. I've done Illuminati's. I've done Giordano's. Right. Oh man, there's this fireplace on the north side by Tattoo Factory that I used to go to.
It's not on the south side called Natty's, right?
Oh, there we go. Lord,
I want to try it, bro.
You should try Natty's. Just go with a bulletproof vest and make sure you're safe. Make sure that if it's dark, the lights are still working.
You know who you're talking to, right?
I do, but you never know.
I'm Jenny from the block.
She's
like I be in Inglewood, I be in Roseland, I be in West Pullman.
That's right. I be watching some of your videos that you visit the houses.
I be in there, man.
There you go.
And people are scared of the rats coming out of the houses and the people.
She's seen some things. You can tell she's seen some things.
This woman goes into houses that she's gonna fix, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, how's she gonna fix that? She fixes them, but I'm like, how's she gonna fix that? Oh my god, that place needs some work.
Yeah, I went into one the other day for an investor, for a friend. They needed me to go take pictures and go look at it. I was like, okay. I was like, geez, this is like $120,000 worth of work in this. It's a 3-unit, big house, and it was falling apart. Someone was living in that. And I was like, bro, I was like, for real? Are you serious? But you'd be surprised what you see.
Yeah.
It's an adventure.
Yeah,
literally.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure you've seen some stuff.
What she said, adventure, I'd be following her, and it's adventure for me watching.
I'd be like, bro, for real. Like, and you know, I like going into the city. I like architecture. I like seeing buildings. I love old stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like a little weird like that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
I'll be like,
I like Spain. Everything's old in Spain.
Yeah, I love just older buildings. I love looking at I guess maybe it's like time capsules, right? Like it's something, someone lived here somewhere, someone did something here. So just these little things like the fixtures, or just when you see an old house, you know, and you see like the trim and you see the old school pattern.
That old wood trimming.
Yeah.
I was about to laugh because I'm thinking about, you said sometimes you go to the house and we're talking about some houses are really bad. And you're like, and you see those old things like that blood splatter on the wall.
Bro, oh no, I ain't gonna lie, I've seen that actually. Like,
it's like, oh no,
oh my gosh,
you know, you will see some things.
Bullet holes.
Like, shell casings on the floor. You know,
we need to get back. Hold on, sorry to hold you. Sorry to hold you back on that. You never said your favorite pizza place.
Totally went off.
Totally went off.
I guess I'll stick to Rosati's pizza.
Rosati's. So it's Rosati's. Rosati's, you owe her some. My camera's over here. Rosati's, you owe her some money.
Yeah, right. I know where you at.
Multiple locations.
She'll be there later on right now.
I'll be there later.
Be there, collect.
Make sure it's warm.
They do have good pizza though. Right. They do have good pizza, I would say, but it's not my favorite. They do have good pizza though.
I can't I just like pizza, so I'm not picky with pizza.
I'll eat any pizza. I'll just
straight up.
I'm a little picky.
You are?
In certain places.
I could tell because you haven't tried other spots other than Pequod's.
I have tried other spots, but I've been going to Pequod's since I was 13 years old, and it's the best pizza in the world.
Have you tried Rosati's?
And it was on Channel 9, and it was like in this like pyramid thing of other pizza places, and then they got second place, and your place got what? Your place got what?
What were the top?
It wasn't even on there. Your place wasn't even on.
What were the top ones? Pequod's?
Rosati's was on there for sure.
Yeah, Rosati's was on there. I think Pete's.
Okay.
Maybe Beggars, I think. Giordano's was on there.
Beggars, really? Giordano's. It's like
stuff like that.
Giordano's is mid.
We didn't, totally mid.
It's like they just got a lot of marketing. They know how to market themselves really well. That's what I think that is.
And then they're smart about where they put their locations. If you notice, most of the Giordano's are by like Midway. A lot of them. They're by Midway area. Yeah. Because a lot of the people that are traveling and don't know about pizzas go to Giordano's.
And I think Giordano's is a staple of Chicago.
Which is not.
Which is not you guys.
Oh, well, you know, so definitely. Like, there's some great. I was the kid that me and my sister would take slices of pizza. All right. We'd put them on a plate and put them in the fridge when my parents ordered it, so we could eat it in the morning for breakfast. That's how much we love pizza.
So y'all would hide some slices, basically. That's what y'all would do.
No, let's pork this.
We're gonna save some for tomorrow, okay?
Did you eat it cold?
Eat it cold.
Wow.
I still don't understand. There's a lot of people that eat their pizza cold.
Pizza cold.
I cannot eat cold food whatsoever.
My cheese has to be melted. It has to be like dripping.
I don't know,
If it's meat, I have to eat it hot.
Yeah, no.
I can't eat it.
My husband
cold.
eats it. Like he'll literally like we would order pizza 3 hours later. He'll just walk by and he'll grab a slice and he'll.
Well, he
I'm
put
like,
it in the refrigerator though. He had it out.
No, even from the fridge.
No, I can't do it.
I can't. Anything from the fridge.
It's going straight to the air fryer.
Yeah, or the comal.
Have you put pizza in the air fryer?
Yeah.
It's like it just came to you.
Yeah. No, I do it in the comal.
Oh, nice.
I
In
love
the
that.
what?
The
Toasty.
comal.
Yeah.
You know what a comal is?
I have no idea what
Where
a
you
comal is.
warm up your tortillas.
That little flippy thingy?
No.
No,
You
just-
put it on the stove and you put your tortillas on there.
Oh, it's a flat.
Yeah, the
skittle,
flat
like,
one.
okay.
So I warm up my pizza on there. Let me tell you.
I could see
That
that.
little burnt part when you burn the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So I'm gonna take some slices. We got some peaks in the back when
Bro,
we're
I
done.
did. I already saw it.
You're like, I did. I'm gonna give me some slices.
Gregory, stay away from that pizza. You had your
save
fill.
some-
You had
Should
your
we
fill.
save some burgers?
So funny.
So we're gonna get a little bit into you and your life, and what I want to know, what I want you to tell the viewers. I can't even speak right now. Is who are you?
Who am I?
Who is Jennifer Sanchez?
Who is Jennifer Sanchez? She is. You want like the generic, or you want like the deep? Like,
Oh, you go as deep as you want, girl. Open
what is
that
it
Pandora's
that
box.
What is it that you're
Give me
looking for?
material, girl. Give me material.
I'm gonna clip all of this. I guess you know who's Jennifer. I'm a bicultural Chicago Latina, mom of 3 girls, Jesus lover. I love Jesus. Serial entrepreneur, right? And when I mean that, I mean literally, like I have multiple things I work on, and honestly, I think I've been kind of dodging this title, but like I've embraced the teacher title, right? Like I've always been a coach. I love coaching, right? I've always been literally all my life. I've always coached somebody, and I never realized how that's always been part of my life, mentoring, coaching. But now I'm like, you know what? Like really is. I am a teacher at heart.
Yeah.
Right? I just love to teach. And I think maybe, I don't know how people are with the whole zodiac signs and the Aquarius and all that stuff. I'm not into it, but it's funny because sometimes I watch something like that is kind of me. Like,
Like it
you
makes
know,
sense.
We're like a know-it-all,
Those things are actually true. Zodiac signs are actually true, but they're not true for Christians.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So they're not true for Christians, but like I think maybe everyone born in January has similar characteristics.
Yeah.
How about let's
Yeah.
say that, right? Like winter babies and stuff like that.
Right.
So let's make it more like that. So I'm like, I do act like a know-it-all sometimes. I sometimes say I'm an ask-hole.
That's a good one.
Like I'm asking you just because I want to hear myself talk.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you respond, but I'm not going to take your advice. Like that's sometimes I say that.
That is so you. that is so you.
'Cause I just want to hear what you got to say.
I just want to hear your
Yeah.
feedback, but I'm still going to do my decision.
Yeah.
So, but that's who I am, and I think honestly, I love people. I love to pour into people and I want to see people succeed. That's who really Jennifer is. Like, I'm not the person I could be cutthroat and like, I don't mind getting dirty if I need to. But at the end of the day, like my intentions are always pure at heart, and I got no problem just being authentically me.
Yeah.
Like I'm always 100% with it. Like I'm blunt, I'm straightforward. I just keep it 100%. And that's who I am.
Do you think you've always been that way? Or this is the new you after we spoke about this earlier, after divorce?
Ooh,
Or is
that's
this
a good
this
question.
a new you?
I think it's always been me. It's just been more, it's blossomed.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I said, I've always been a coach. I was a swim coach and a water polo coach in college. Right? So I was always coaching somebody. I was always in sports, right? I was always mentoring and coaching even while I was still married, right? When I was married, I still had my women's community and I would pour into women and I would coach women, right? So, but now it's really become I have become who I'm meant to be. I feel like dang, no one can tell me nothing.
Yeah, you fully sprouted out of your.
I don't think anybody can tell you anything. Period.
That's why I'm divorced. No, just like
see, that's kind of why.
That's probably no. But with all that, at the end of the day, I think I have different versions of myself, and it was funny. I was thinking about this. Like this conversation was happening in my mind before I even came into the studio, because I can show myself to different people in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm selective on what I show somebody. Yeah. Some people might know this version of me. Other people know this version of me. And it's still the same person because belief systems are the same. My core is still the same. But then I choose what I reveal, right? And I'm selective. So it's like some people might know the goofy Jennifer.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, my gosh, she's so much fun. I never met this goofy one, right? Yeah. But then there's other people who've only met corporate, serious, straightforward, and they won't get that one, like for whatever reason. Yeah. And then, if you really bring the bad, bring the monster out, you'll bring the monster out. Not that I try to bring her out, but she's available if needed.
Release the Kraken. Release the
Kraken. But I think it's.
But there's another version of you.
Which is that?
A sweet version.
There is a sweet
nice version.
I think there is.
The dope version.
There's a sweet one in there.
This woman right here, for my birthday, out of nowhere, bought me a cake.
Oh.
If we only knew each other for a couple months or a few months maybe.
Oh, wow.
And she made sure that I didn't have a birthday party or anything. I usually have a huge birthday party.
Yeah.
And she made sure that there was a cake there for me.
Was there a reason why you didn't have a birthday party?
Oh, the podcast summit.
We had the podcast summit.
Podcast summit. Okay.
So it was there. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah. Did you cry?
When I found out that she's the one that gave the cake, I was like, wow, that is so dope.
But did you cry?
But did you cry?
I did cry.
I think he did cry.
I did cry.
Actually, he did cry.
You made him cry.
But and that was more because me, it was like I like to honor people and give honor where honor's due.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem kudos to you at all. And it was your event and it was your birthday, and I think you were kind of frazzled, or I remember there was something going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I remember I was like, okay, let's get this cake. And then I remember I put your wife involved. I got your wife involved, and I was like, hey, look, here's a cake. This is still your man. Go give it to him. Do your thing. But still, I think Melissa and your wife went on stage and presented it to you. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was not ready because I'm talking to the crowd.
Yeah.
And here comes Melissa with my wife behind her.
Yeah.
Because my wife is really tiny. So Melissa was covering her. Yeah. And here's Melissa with the cake. And then my wife peeks out. And I'm like, wow, this is dope.
So you had a moment.
Oh, I cried. It's on film.
Oh my gosh.
But I just found that
so you are very sweet. You're very sweet. But again, I think that because of the life experiences that you've had, you put a guard up for different people.
Of course.
It's just a way for you just to protect yourself, I guess.
Of course. It's a survival mechanism, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone that knows if you've gone through trauma, if you've gone through a rough upbringing, depending on what you've been taught by your parents, right? You know how to carry yourself. And reality is the world is hard.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's I guess for me, damn, I smacked my lips. I guess for me, just dealing with different people and different types of people and different calibers of people, I've learned when to pull back and when to go forward. And again, it is part of survival. Yeah. And I think sometimes people, you need to develop that awareness in yourself, right? So if finally, I will always give someone the benefit of the doubt when I meet you. But the moment that I see any signs that
you sense it,
you're going to cross me or you're going to do me dirty, then I'm like, okay, retreat, right? Because it's more of like you said, protection, right? And I think as a woman, we have to be very vigilant.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, I'm a woman in real estate at that.
Yeah.
Right? So it could be very cutthroat in that industry. So you always have to make sure that how do you navigate? How do you move? How do you move as a single woman, single mom, and it could be rough out here, man. For real.
You have to be soft and aggressive at the same time.
Soft and aggressive, right? And growing up in the city. I mean, I grew up in Albany Park, in Lawrence and Kedzie. I went to Roosevelt High School.
Rough.
Oh, you said rough. So You know, so it was very diverse. Yeah. There was like 20 gangs on the same block, right? Yes. So, you know, you see things and there's fights all the time. And I had to learn how to navigate even high school. How do I still maintain the book nerd in myself and be smart and still stay rough so that no one can mess with me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you protect yourself in that environment, right?
It's very, very tough.
It's very tough. So I was like, let's say like, I remember in high school, I took like a college program at DePaul University. I was the only Latina there with my hoops and my lip liner. And, you know, I did not look like I belonged. Everyone else was like Asian, Indian, Southeast Asian, right? Everyone learning Chinese and learning.
And there comes this Latina.
Here comes this Latina by myself, just like, I'm here to learn Mandarin Chinese. Like, that made no sense, right? But I had to learn to kind of be like a chameleonaire, right? Is that even the right word? Chameleon.
Chameleon.
You
were thinking about chameleonaire, but chameleon. You're close. Riding dirty.
They see me riding dirty. Yeah, no. But you know, I had to learn how to be a chameleon, basically, and shift for different groups, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I want to get into your life a little bit.
Oh no.
Loving it.
I'm like, oh no.
I'm loving this moment right here. So, Jennifer Sanchez, who were you? I'll let you drink that water before you spit it out.
I'm preparing myself.
Who were you when you were 10 years old?
What was that, 3rd grade? I was fun, loving little girl. I had my dog. Play with my dog.
What kind of dog did you have?
It was a German Shepherd Husky mix.
His name was fun.
His name was Lobito.
Oh, Lobito.
So he was like my little doggy. You know, I had it was just me and my sister. You know, I was the type of kid that I was adventurous. You know, I always took up challenges. So like, I remember moving to the new school in Hibbard because I was in Uptown first, born in Uptown.
Okay.
And I was there for 5 years, you know, so I remember going to like the elementary school out there, 1st and 2nd grade. And then I remember 2nd grade, we moved into Albany Park. And then I remember moving down to Albany Park. They were big on gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like that school loved gymnastics, front rolls, back rolls, cartwheels, round offs. I was like, why are these kids so into this, right? And mind you, I don't know any of that. And I was like, okay, like, I'll try, you know. Remember just like, okay, try to do like a cartwheel. Like the older kids were helping the younger ones. And I was like, okay. And all of a sudden, like, I just ran and just flipped. Like, I didn't know what I was doing.
You just ran and flipped.
And they were like, I just remember everyone like, ooh, because I like slammed the mat.
Oh my gosh.
But ever since then, I was like, no, I'm going to get this cartwheel. I'm going to get this round off. So I like made it my goal.
To get it.
You know, I remember my porch just kept practicing. So that's who Jennifer was. That was me, the little
not scared to try anything.
Not scared, but you know, just being a girl, you know.
So who was Jennifer Sanchez at 17, 18 years old?
Oh, Jesus.
Those ages are fun.
17 and 18, I think I was still very loving. But you know, my parents divorced when I was 16. So when my parents divorced at 16, I was angry. You know, I was an angry teenager. You know, rebellion. Teenagers are hard as it is.
Yeah, and then with something like that, it's a cherry on top.
A cherry on top, you know. So I just remember being like really angry, trying to prove myself, you know, in the school as, you know, this tough person.
Yeah.
And got myself into things I probably shouldn't have been getting myself into.
Yeah.
You know, and that's getting around the wrong crowds, you know, but still maintaining my good grades, you know, still got into UIC and did what I had to do. But, you know, I still was a neighborhood kid at the same time. So, but she was definitely very angry, very broken, sad.
Were you close to your dad?
I think with my parents, I definitely advocated for my dad more because I just saw how the divorce destroyed him, you know, and I think that was more of my anger. It was, you know, again, I know divorces are hard.
Yeah.
And, me myself being divorced, right? Like I get it now as an adult, like, oh, this didn't work out, you know?
Yeah.
And then as a child, you're kind of forced to choose a side.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Right? So I almost felt like I chose my dad's side because he was going through it, you know? And I think when a man loses his family and if his identity is so ingrained in a family, he really loses himself. And for a little bit, my dad did lose himself.
Yeah.
So that's probably part of the reason why I was so angry as well. You know, we had a house, we had a dog, we had, you know, we had a middle-class lifestyle. Even though it was Albany Park, we still had a house and all that. And then with the divorce, obviously they couldn't keep the house, right? We had to sell the house, had to move, downgrade into an apartment, you know, just different things. They're obstacles that usually happen when a divorce happens, you know? So me knowing myself, I was always a go-getter. So it's like, okay, you can't give me money, I'm gonna go get my own money, you know? And I always got a job. I always figured out how to do something to always have what I needed, you know?
Figured it out.
I always figured it out. But yeah, that was who Jennifer was.
Okay. So 25. Who was Jennifer at 25 years old?
Who? 25. I was trying to be a wife.
Oh, good girl. What?
I was trying to be
me, I
wife.
married young too, but how old were you when you got married?
So I was 18 when I moved in with my ex-husband.
No.
So I was, you're like, oh, pobrecita. You know? I was 18. I was still a senior in high school, actually, when I moved in.
Really?
So I moved in at that time. I didn't know any better. Again, rebelliousness, right? I was kind of just hanging out with my boyfriend, being at his house all the time. Where I remember his grandpa was like, I think it's time for y'all to like move in and do something, get married. Like you hear all the time, like wash some dishes.
Oh my
God.
God.
I was like, I was
Ponte
like,
limpiar, ponte cocinar.
I was like, oh, okay. So it just, for us, we didn't know any better, and it just made sense to
And
move
nobody
in.
was telling you any better
No
at the
one,
same time.
no one was saying like, Jennifer, maybe that's not a wise idea, right?
Not the time for that right now.
No one was saying that. But my parents were so into what
their
they
own-
were going
their
through
own issues.
that they didn't realize that I was getting into things. Maybe it wasn't the wisest thing, but everything happens for a reason, right? So moved in with my ex-husband. Lived with him, and then at 25, I had my first daughter already by 25.
Wow.
I had my first daughter at 20, and then I had my second daughter at 26.
Wow.
So, probably pregnant.
You're young.
I was
So
young. I was a young mom,
Very young.
just trying to figure out this married life.
Married life.
But thankfully, I did accept Jesus around the age of 21, I believe it was. So, I had I started building a spiritual foundation at that time. So I wasn't as angry anymore. It was more of just trying to figure out how to live this life as a young mom, as a wife with kids, right? And
Trying to navigate through those decisions.
And my career, because I think I just started my career. I graduated college probably about 23 or 24. So I was working in the nonprofit world, so I was kind of just trying to figure out this life, at 25. Jesus, like I look at my 18-year, I'm like, please, for the love of Jesus, don't do what I did, right? Like,
we're all saying that.
No, serious.
But like I look at my daughter, I'm like, my God, like I was already trying to be a wife, at your age, I already moved in, checked up. With my ex-husband, and I see her, I'm like, you're a baby.
She's still a baby.
She's a baby, right? Yeah. I'm like, you ain't leaving. I'm gonna chain you up, lock you down. She won't leave though. She ain't that too.
Our kids are not gonna go nowhere, girl. They're gonna be with us for a while. I'm pretty sure our kids are gonna be with us because my kid's 17. My kid's 17. He keeps telling me he's gonna, as soon as he's 18, he's moving out. I said, baby, in this economy, you ain't going nowhere, and that's okay. That's okay. Home is home, So it's always gonna be home.
Yeah. But at my age, I'm still trying to move in with my mom. She won't let me.
Oh, jeez. I wish.
I'm like, my mom has a 7-bedroom house, 3 baths. Yeah. I'm like, Mom, you're not even using three of the bedrooms. It's like,
let me just
get one. I can rent out my apartment, rent it out. And,
just make it easier for everybody.
Get some cash.
Yeah, and then you're taking care of her. Win-win for everybody.
Buy my next building, you know what I'm saying? Let me save some money.
Exactly.
She's like, no.
No, She's trying to do her own thing.
Tú te quedas allá.
That's smart.
So who was Jennifer Sanchez at 35 years old?
35. Oh, that was like, well, I'm 38 now. So that's 3 years ago. I was just getting divorced. I was going through my divorce and wilding out. No, I'm just playing.
It's okay to wild out. It's okay.
I was, because remember, I married really young, so I never really experienced dating. I didn't.
So you did well out.
Just a little.
You have to. You should.
Just a tad.
You have to.
I was experiencing single life for once, and I was like, whoa, what is this, right? Got into a little extra things I shouldn't have gotten into, right? Because it's like now there's no boundaries. Now there's like no parameters, and you're kind of like, well, what is this?
Free ball for everybody.
So I kind of was going through a grieving process, right? Because of divorce, you got to go through a grieving process. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
100.
So at 35, I was going through a grieving process. At the same time, I was still living a little rebellion, or as my friend likes to say, her no-no season, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe doing a little too much partying for a little bit, but it was because I was trying to cope with what I was going through, right? A divorce. I lost my identity.
Yeah.
Because for a while, I was so, like, I loved being a wife. I do. I mean, even you asked me a couple months ago, like, do you want to stay single or do you want to be married? I was like, oh, I love being married. Like, I love being a wife. That will never change, right? I still, to this day, like, I have to check myself. Like, Jen, you ain't a wife to these dudes, right? Calm down.
Calm down.
You ain't going to be cooking for nobody until there's a ring on it, right?
Exactly. Amen.
But you naturally, because I've been married for so long, like, you want to cook. You want to take care of somebody, right? So it's like, oh, my God, I want to do these things. I'm like, no, reel it back. That's not going to happen. So, going through the whole grieving process at 35, figuring out what my identity was, because I felt destroyed. I did. Yeah. I did feel destroyed because my personal brand was so attached to being a wife, right? Yeah. Being married, having the house together, having it look all well put together, right? Like manage it all as a wife, a mom with kids, and an entrepreneur, and you want to portray this image, and I was, and a lot of the women that were coming to me were also married women, right? So I was working with women and married women, and little did I know that the women or the community that I built was preparing me for my own divorce that was going to come. Yeah. Because when I started going through my divorce, those same women I helped were the women that stepped in to help me. You know? Yeah, because I'd cry. I'd be like, man, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how this organization's going to last. I just fell into real estate at 35. So I was loving real estate. I was loving learning the business. Yeah. And I was loving the entertainment side of the real estate side, right? So I was just learning all these things and excited. And my WISE organization for women was kind of just flowing. Yeah. It was just moving. And if it wasn't for my team and the women that supported, that helped me out, that would have died. Yeah. So many times women would write me like, Jennifer, don't give up. Like they saw that I was just not there.
Very close to giving up.
Yeah. They just saw that I didn't want to do things. Like I was barely making it. I remember for that retreat that year, because I've done 9 retreats. Okay. This would be my 9th retreat in September. That's awesome. That's and and I remember I told my team, I said, y'all doing it. You guys are doing this retreat. Yeah. This is a learning experience for you. I know how to logistically put it together. Yeah. But as far as the planning, activities, that's all y'all. Yeah. I said, you guys handle it. And they did. And they took care of it. And they managed it. And I just took care of the logistics side of it. But I was not mentally capable of coaching anyone or mentoring. Even when I went to a 9-to-5, and that's the best part because that's how I learned so much of the real estate. I was working. And I knew my assignment was there, was put your head down and just learn. Yeah. That's all that I felt in my spirit. Just learn the system, keep your head down, learn how things work in real estate. And I just enjoyed the ride while I was there. So I was just focusing on real estate during that time and training for a marathon. Thank God. At that time, I was training for a marathon because there was times that I would come home from the separation and it was just eerie quiet in my house. No kids.
No kids.
Just
him now.
Just a dog. Huh?
Just a dog.
Spending time with the father, so you came home to an empty house.
I came home. Yeah, the kids were with the dad, right? So then I come home and it was just eerie quiet. And I was like,
something you're not used to.
Something I wasn't used to, right? With 3 kids, that's loud.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
Noise all day. You know, and I'm just like, okay, it's quiet. Go run. And I'd put on my shoes and just go for a run.
Yeah.
And every time I felt weird, it was like, go for a run.
Go run.
And that was part of the coping, the real estate, the learning that, and then the marathon running, maybe get into some things I shouldn't have gotten into, but,
hey,
I learned.
We live and we learn. Ain't no shame in that. We live and we learn.
Sometimes you have to fall in order to learn, to get on the right path.
Yeah, for sure.
You do,
So now that you're 38 years old, how's life treating you?
Oh, it's a grind right now. I think the season that I'm in is really building, right? I got some rentals. I'm rehabbing, right? So in the real estate world, it's just really finding my place in the real estate world as an investor right now, right? And that really is still part of my mission to supporting women at the end of the day. Even though people might not see it, I know that the reason why I'm getting into real estate is because it's supposed to give me that cash flow, right? That financial freedom, that cash flow, so that I can do what I love and support other people and support women. I started saying, like, not only do I invest in real estate, but I invest in people. And that's really my life's work. Yeah. I've always done that. So, right now it's really let me build, let me buy, let me rehab, let me grow. So it's a season of building right now for sure. Party Jen's not here,
Party Jen retired.
Party Jen retired. Right now it's really just, I'm so focused on my goals. I'm so focused on building my community, building my goals, building the real estate portfolio. That's really where I'm at right now. So Jennifer's grinding.
So if someone wanted to get into the real estate business, what kind of gems or nuggets can you give them if they're watching this right now and said, I want to learn a little bit more about what she's doing? Yeah,
so I guess the way that I started was wholesaling, right? My first couple of deals I wholesaled, right? And people think that when you get into real estate, you have to have all this money. Yeah. Right. And that's usually the impression. Traditionally, yes, 20% down, go to a bank. Oh, you want an investment property. If you're going to buy this and you put 20% down, blah, blah, blah. Right. No, actually, you can do other things. There's private money lenders. People don't realize that you can use money from people that are just lending out of their own bank accounts. Right. If you know someone that has money, they can lend you and purchase a property. Wholesaling. If you don't know anything, let's say like you come across a property and you're like, man, this looks like a deal, right? But you got no money. Let me just sell it to another investor that does have the money, right? And that's like my first deal that I did. I made $9,000 off of it. I just found a property in Chicago Heights, needed some work. You could tell it needed work. And I was able to hand it off to another investor for an assignment fee.
Hey.
Right? Nice. Then I did the same thing all over again with another property, made $30,000 off of that one, right? Found it, put my assignment fee, passed it on to somebody else, right? So then that's kind of like how you do the wholesaling side of the game. Yeah. So it just really depends where you're at in life financially, when you're trying to get into real estate, and create a plan, because some people do have enough capital that they could start flipping. They could start, doing bigger, heavier things. Yeah. They might have great credit, right? They have money in the bank. They have a lot of resources.
They just don't know how to use it.
They don't know how to use it, right? And there's some people that like don't have nada, right? Yeah. You have nothing. You have bad credit. You might not have, the resources, but, wholesaling is usually a way that a lot of people get involved first to start building that capital.
So for people that don't know, what is wholesaling?
Wholesaling is essentially finding a property off market, right? Not on the MLS.
Okay.
And then taking that property and buying it so low that you can sell it a little bit higher to another investor, right? So it's not market value, right? Okay. So usually when you see properties that are on the MLS that someone's selling, they got the little for sale sign, right, with an agent, they're usually selling at top dollar.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Not all the time, but sometimes they are. Like the owner's trying to get as much as possible for this property because they're not trying to give up any equity. They're just trying to get all their money out of it, right? So a wholesaler would essentially get that really discounted, right? Really cheap enough or economical enough that they can make a profit, and they know that their investor that they sell it to will make a profit as well.
Okay.
You know, so like sometimes I'm out talking to people and they'll be like, oh, I'm trying to sell my property. Okay. And that's my opportunity to be like, well, let me see. Let me make a cash offer. Maybe I can make you a cash offer before you even have to deal with putting it on the MLS, dealing with an agent, paying their fee, going through surveys, waiting on the process. Because, you know, it's a process to sell a house on the market, right? Yeah. It could take 30, 60, 90 days to sell it. When you deal with an investor, sometimes you could close in 3 weeks, right?
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, because they're doing cash. So usually when I hear anyone, if I hear anything like I'm going to sell or this person passed away, you know, it doesn't, I don't want to sound like a vulture, but sometimes like I'll hear it and I'll be like, okay.
It's part of the business.
It's part of the business. I could help you.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I can make you a deal. Maybe I can make you an offer and see if I could work with you. And, you know, especially like I remember one time at the boxing, title boxing in Elmhurst, there was a young lady there who just said her mom died, right? And, you know, I'm sorry for your loss. And, you know, she was like, I'm trying to sell the property. And we just started talking. I was like, well, let me see if I can make you an offer on this deal, on this property.
Yeah.
It didn't work out with her, but, you know, that's kind of how the business runs.
Happens,
You got to listen and see if you can help someone out.
Right. You're trying to solve an issue somebody has. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And some people might say, well, you're preying on someone losing something. No, you're trying to help them release that from their hands because it's too heavy for them.
Sometimes it is. They can't afford it. There might be a mortgage on it, back taxes. Maybe they're going into foreclosure, right? If it's
divorced.
Still divorced. So many times there's women that can't keep their properties, right? Because honestly, single mothers are the most vulnerable to poverty.
Yeah.
Right? So unfortunately, that's the reality of it. So, you know, sometimes women can't keep the properties, you know, so they need someone to come in and make them cash offers and help salvage, you know, whatever they can. Exactly. So that's where a wholesaler can come in and maybe they don't have the capital or the resources, but they know people and they can take that, offer it, and then just sell it for a fee to somebody else.
Is there a license for that? You have to obtain a license from the state or something?
Yeah, you're supposed to, as a wholesaler, you should have your license because you're allowed to do it once a year without your license. So, I mean, you should have your license so you can wholesale correctly. Yeah. Right? But yeah, I mean, that's usually the way that it goes.
Being a wholesaler and a realtor is two different things.
Correct.
Two different names for it, right?
Correct.
So where would a person go to become a wholesaler?
So the way that I learned was being a part of investor groups. So I'm part of a large community through Andrew Holmes, who I worked for him for 2 years. I was on his payroll. But then, you know, I'm part of his community as well. I invested to be part of this group to get the knowledge, to get access to the community, the resources, right? The private money lenders. So that's kind of how I learned. I know there's other ways people learn, you know, but the way I learned is I invested in a group. But there's so many investment groups out there. Yeah. It's just finding the right one that will give you the right knowledge to be able to do it correctly.
And wanting to invest in yourself as well.
And wanting to invest in yourself. The reality is, like, you don't really get anywhere without investing in yourself. Yeah. You know, like, I tell this all the time, like, you're trying to go from A to B, but you're not willing to do the work to get to B.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes it takes investing in yourself, whether it's your healing, whether it's knowledge, whether it's, you know, getting plugged with a group, right? Yeah. It takes money to make money.
Yeah.
Right? And people don't realize that.
Yeah, They just think it just comes easy.
No, like
no work.
No, like, oh, manna's gonna fall from the sky, you know. And I mean, even then, you still have to walk in obedience, right?
Yeah.
And if you're trying to get fed, right, you still have to follow a leader. You still have to be part of a community.
Yeah.
Like, there's still more with it than just thinking things are gonna fall on your lap.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jen, you've been doing a lot for a very long time. Entrepreneuring for a very long time. What's next for you? Next 5 years?
Well, definitely the portfolio, right? Like I said, that's the goal. The goal definitely is I'm definitely trying to get to that 50 property portfolio, right? That's my goal. So in 5 years, I should have that, if not surpass that by then, you know. So that's what I'm grinding for. And then, of course, really not working for anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Working for yourself.
Working for myself, teaching, still running my women's community. I would love to have transitional housing. You know, one of the biggest things that I've always been, my heart, before I even got into real estate, I remember praying like, God, I just want a place for women to go.
Yeah.
Because so many times, because when I was coaching women, even before my divorce, women would pick up the phone, call me, Jennifer, I need to leave. I need to get out of this relationship. I need to get out of this marriage.
I have nowhere to go.
I have nowhere to go. And I'd be like, okay. So I'm like researching and calling my resources and, you know, where can I send these women to, right? And it sucks because sometimes you have to send them police stations.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people don't know that to get into a shelter, you tell them go to a police station. Usually these shelters are connected with them and they'll take you, but they won't shelters won't just take you, especially like domestic violence shelters and stuff like that. They won't just take anyone in. You have to go. There's a process.
There's a process for everything.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. So it would break my heart when I would hear women tell me that and I couldn't deliver.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, God, I just want a place for them to go, even if it was for them to go get away for a couple of days. You know, just have a safe space to go to. This was before I even got into real estate. And then lo and behold,
you're in the place.
I'm in the business. So I don't know where God is going to take me, you know, and usually like I have my plans.
Yeah.
But they're not sometimes God's plans, right? God's like, oh, this is what you think you're gonna do, right? Let me show you what you're really gonna do, right? Because like I never thought I was gonna be divorced.
Yeah.
And that was never part of my plan.
Yeah.
Right? But here I am.
Yeah.
Divorced. You know, and I remember like I felt like I hit my rock bottom. I really did. You know, and it would hurt to know that I wasn't gonna be like two-parent household, right? It broke my heart, but it's what needed to happen.
Yeah.
Not only for me, but for him. My ex-husband's now saved in the church, serving, and I'd be like, bro, I've been asking you to do this.
Yeah.
Now you gonna do it?
Yeah.
You know?
It was a different plan for him.
It was a different plan for him, and I had to learn one thing is like God loved him just as much as he loves me.
Come on, somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think sometimes we get caught up in this victim mindset, like, oh, he hurt me, he mistreated me, and he did blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, like, God just loves him just as much as me. And God wanted to save him just as much as he wanted to save me. Mm-hmm. Right? So I had to humble myself and eat that humble pie.
Yeah.
Right? And kind of be like, you know what? I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
You know, when he got his girlfriend, I gave her a bottle of wine.
You gonna need this, girl.
So wrong.
You gonna need this.
You know? And
Stress.
And I did, not because I was trying to be like a smart,
I would have.
You know, but it was more so because it was a peace offering.
Yeah.
You're going to be like a second mom to my daughters. And I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
And if, you know, at the end of the day, like, you all need to be healthy for my daughters just as much as, you know, if it was me and him, I would still want the same, right? So I'm not, I mean, even that girl's saved now, right? So it's like, just to see how God works.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, to me, it's like, all right, God, I see you. Because if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't have been there. So it all has to work together. As much as it hurts, sometimes we go through these things not for us, it's for somebody else.
Somebody else.
And I'd be like, dang, God, why? Why I gotta go through this?
Because you one of his strongest soldiers, girl. What you mean?
Sometimes, you have a Samsung phone, an Android, and God's telling you, I got an iPhone for you.
I'd be like, dang.
Something better.
Yeah.
I've always wanted this Android. And that did happen. I went from Android to iPhone.
That's why I said it.
Oh, yeah. I joined the iPhone club,
Hey.
But, it's like, I just knew deep down in my spirit that, that relationship wasn't going to get me to the level that I needed to get to, and it was a hard decision. But it happened. And now it's like, okay, it makes sense because God needs me in this solitude.
Yeah.
There's singleness is meant for him.
Good.
It really
so
is.
Yeah.
And I had to learn the hard way because I was like, man, I want to date. I want to be with,
Yeah.
I've been married. I was with someone for 18. Yeah.
You crave the intimacy.
Of course. You've been with someone for 18 years. That's all you're used to, right? Like if you've been married a long time, that's all you know. Yeah. So right away, I wanted to get into a relationship.
Oh, no.
Right. And I could see why people fall trap into relationships or get into rebound relationships or get
bamboozled.
bamboozled. I could see and God just doesn't let me.
Yeah, no.
He don't play with me. Like he be like, nah, bro. And he'll throw him to the side. Like that ain't for you.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, seriously?
Just make sure you don't ignore the signs, though.
Of
ignore
course.
the signs.
Of course.
I want to bring something up. I'm glad you brought that up. So I was watching your show on Monday.
Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Here we
You
go.
already know, girl. I was watching. We were going to end this until you said something. So you're on a date.
Oh, Lord.
You're on a date, and
Hot date.
the gentleman decided to lean back in the bench that he was sitting at. I'm guessing he was being relaxed while he was talking to you, and you guys were on this date, and you felt a little bit like you're not facing me. You're leaning back, right?
Yeah.
What was wrong with that?
You really wanted to ask
No,
that?
I did because I'm watching your show. I'm like, maybe he was relaxed with you. Maybe you made him feel that way, like he could just chill and throw his legs up and say, you know what, I'm gonna go with this beautiful woman. She's chill. Let me put my feet up and talk to her.
I mean, I don't know the scenario.
He was still paying attention to you, right?
Why couldn't you just text me this question? Call me. You got my number. So I guess for me, it's more of etiquette
Okay.
and presentation, right? And I think in that moment, it was just kind of like I watch mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like if you want me to act like a lady and look like a lady and dress like a lady, then I need you to.
Literally your song, but go ahead.
It literally
Act like a lady.
right? You want and of course, mind you, in the romantic atmosphere, of course, I'm gonna be a different Jennifer, right?
Yeah.
Like my business colleagues are not gonna see that Jennifer, right?
Yeah, of course.
So like you ain't getting that side. But if I'm doing that and I see someone just like not with good table manners, it really irked me. It just
So was he doing it you guys were on a table? And
It was
he
like
like a
pizza
booth.
place
It
or
was like a
something? It was
booth.
a booth. Yeah,
A
that's what I got
booth.
from it.
And then I'm trying to like get to know you and
Yeah.
talk to you and see you face to face like this, right?
Yeah. And he's just
And he like went that way, like his body positioned that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
okay.
then-
So hold on.
So it
Let
bothered
me.
her.
Okay. So you're like this. Right?
So he's like this,
So-
talking to her like this. What's up?
Yeah, and I'm like sitting here facing him like that.
Right. So
What?
he's like this. Like,
Yeah, and I was just like, and I guess
okay. That's no.
was it? How would you?
I don't know.
No,
I was
yeah,
like,
I had to
I don't see myself
visualize.
doing that. That's why.
You
If
see
I-
yourself doing that?
Okay,
As
I'd be
in
like
a
this,
first
I'd be
date?
like, I don't know about the first date.
Okay, that's the thing.
But if I'm talking to a person like this, and then she's making me feel good and groovy and whatnot, I'm like, man,
See, I guess
I'll even invite you to come sit up next to me. You know what I'm saying?
if we was like hanging out for a minute and
Yeah.
chilling,
But it was an instant thing.
it was like it was
Almost
like,
instantly, you guys sat down and he just
No. He was
Or-
talking. We were cool, and then he
then
did
he
it.
did the thing.
And I was just like, bro, like
Yeah, no.
I have a Mexican daddy,
My dad ain't gonna like that.
and my dad is like, no, you don't eat like that. You don't put your elbows.
Yeah.
he trained me how to act in a dinner table, you know? Yeah. So for me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, Jesus, you know, like, I can't, it just irked me.
And this is it really did. I was watching, I was like, why is that bothering her so much? But he must have been comfortable with you.
You know, yeah, maybe.
Like really comfortable with you.
Maybe. And it was cool because I guess I could make people feel comfortable, but it's like, right? But like, we're not there yet. Like, once we're cool and maybe hanging out for a minute, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I could see it if you're on like a maybe second, third date. But when you're on a first date, you have to be attentive.
Well, he was here first for a while. Then he said, let me lean back.
Let me chill.
She's chilling me out. Yeah. If he would have gotten his phone, then that would have been disrespectful.
Yeah.
But he's like talking to her like that.
Yeah.
His legs up, you know, maybe he had a hard day on his feet, you know.
You know, I just have these little things, and I guess, you know, at this point, I'm not settling.
Yeah, no.
You know, I can't. I can't. I'm too old. I'm too grown.
You are not old.
Not old, but you're at an age where you know what you want.
Yeah, I know.
That's not old.
No, it's not old. No, I know. You're right. I'm young, right?
38 years young.
I just talked to one woman, and she said, biologically or chronologically, I'm this age, but biologically, I'm this age, right? So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to say I'm biologically 25, chronologically 38, right? Like, I'm going to start saying I'm younger.
You should.
But I think, you know, for me, it's just, I need someone to be very specific, you know, and because I carry myself a certain way. I walk a certain way. I talk a certain way. People know my name. Like, you know, I'm Jenny from the block. Like, people in the world know me, and it's not that I'm trying to like hype myself up, but like, that man has to have some pretty strong standards. Yeah. Be better than me.
Yeah.
And I know I intimidate men. I know I do. I know I ain't like, when you guys were talking about that situation about that grown man with that 19-year-old little baby, right?
Yeah.
I ain't 19. Yeah. You know, I know what I want, and I know that the caliber of man that I want to be with is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, people tell me, Jennifer, like, you need to be untouchable. Right? Like, you can't just mess with any waka flocka. You know? You know, you can't just be with anybody, which is true. Yeah. You know, so I have to really protect my space, protect who I am, protect my identity, protect my brand.
For sure.
Because it could be detrimental being with the wrong person.
Oh, very.
10-4 on that one. Yes, absolutely.
You know, I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't my ex-husband, right? And now it's got to be this guy that's got to fill these shoes. And I know as a woman, because of the industry I'm in, the way I carry myself, you know, I can be intimidating to men, you know? Yeah. Sometimes be like, God, why can't I just bake cookies? You know,
can I be cookies?
Just leave me. Can't I just be a housewife and just be at home and cook and
I just want to be soft.
You know, why you put me in this? But, you know, it's not my calling. At least not right now. Yeah. And I know that a true masculine man that does come into my life will allow me to have that space to be that woman. But right now it's like, nah, bro. Yeah. We're a little rougher and tougher out here.
Yeah. And the right man's gonna be able to get you to that safe place.
Oh yeah. Oh, true, bro. Man, when I started coming around masculine men, I was like,
this is what it's like.
This is what it feels like. Oh, I feel like a little girl right now, you know? And that's when I knew, like, oh, this is a whole nother world for me, because I didn't have that, you know? Even in my past relationship, I felt like I was in a lot of survival mode in that relationship, right? I didn't trust that person enough to be feminine, right? To allow them to take the lead. Yeah. Even if I did, you know, there were situations that it just didn't work out. Yeah. But then I was like, oh, this is what masculine men are really like. Okay.
I like this.
I like
it here.
Yeah. You know, like, so now I know what I look for, you know, and if you can make me feel me, this person made me feel like a little girl, like, okay.
Yeah. And it's
so Jennifer's number is 555.
No.
And it's important to know.
Nobody call me. Because I will put you in your place. Easy, quick. It's gotta be from God. No, we gotta let's put it back. There has to be a God-fearing man.
That's what I love to hear.
It can't be just any bozo. It gotta be a Boaz. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like a Boaz, not a bozo. Because again, it has to be who God's called me to be with. You know, not just any person.
Come on, you're dropping gems today.
Man, I like to do gems with Jen, right? But no, I have to make sure it's the right person because he's gonna not only be responsible of me and my house, but my kids, right? He's gonna be a big responsibility for him. So I know there's a specific man that is capable.
So you can let a man lead.
Of course, yeah. Please, come.
Yeah.
You know,
please come lead the way.
You know, me and one of
555.
no. You're gonna start pimping me out on your show. You know, like I
highest bidders only.
Right, let's do a fundraiser for the Flava Podcast.
We gonna get that van one way or another, okay?
Jennifer on stage. No, let's not do that. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's a bad idea. I'll be like, oh no, put your pedal back down, sir.
What if I? What once, what twice?
No.
And all you see is 50-year-olds. No,
what
are we talking about? I forget that you're 50. My bad.
51.
60s.
No.
See nothing but 60-year-olds in there with their little paddles.
Yeah. No, and I think that's really where I'm at right now. I'm so in the zone, so focused that's just a distraction.
It doesn't even cross your mind.
No, right now. No, it's like, oh, there's so much energy. That relationship takes up a lot of energy and space.
You see the too many people go, yes.
Yeah, you gotta invest in the person. Kudos to you. Like I admire it. It's one of those relationships. I think marriages that develop you so much. It really does. It's one of the most critical relationships in your life. I think, right? Because biblically it says when two get together, you become one flesh, right? So you are essentially one person, right? So it's like if you are married to the wrong person,
you are the wrong person.
You're gonna struggle. You're not gonna be the true person that you're meant to be. But I truly, my organization for women, if it wasn't for the marriage that I was in, it wouldn't even exist. Yeah. In all honesty. Yeah. So the marriage that I was in was critical to develop the Jennifer that is in front of you, because the skills, the abilities, the trying to figure out how to solve conflict and boundaries and all this stuff was developed because of the relationship I was in. Yeah. You know, and I learned. And I took as much coaching and therapy and marriage counseling, and I did everything, right? Everything. I read every marriage book that you can think of, right? Like the love languages, the 5 love languages, love and respect, right? Yeah. So like all these, but you're nodding because you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm nodding yes, so you're right.
You know, 100%. The Stormy Orman, right? The Power of a Praying Wife. Like I did it all. Yeah. You know, I did it all. But, you know, at the end of the day, that marriage is the most critical relationship in your life, and it's going to really develop you and challenge you.
Oh, for sure.
So I was about to let you go back. I got another question.
Oh, Lord.
So what does a marriage or a relationship for you look like being an entrepreneur and knowing how busy we could get, right? Because we all could get really busy, right? Yeah. Do we need that person that understands really what we do if they're not an entrepreneur themselves? Or should we be dating entrepreneurs or marrying entrepreneurs because they know what we go through?
Oh, man. So I had an experience.
That was a good question.
That's a really good question.
Tap on your back.
Yeah, it's a really good question because it's crossed my mind a lot of times. Like, can I be with someone that is a 9-to-5er, right? And me be an entrepreneur? And I mean, of course, if it's who God asked me to be with, it doesn't matter, right? But I do believe that they need to understand the lifestyle because if you're, and then be secure with that. I'm always in networking events. It's part of the business. Yeah. I'm always around men. It's part of the business. So whoever my partner is has to understand that, right? Yeah. And I think if we're both in the same industry and we work together, it makes sense.
Yeah. Power couple.
It's a power couple thing. And they'll know why I got to do what I got to do and we do it together. Can it survive? Sure. Outside of it, I think it can, right? I think as long as they're understanding of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and supportive of, absolutely.
For sure.
I've had one guy tell me, like, Jennifer, you just need a cheerleader. he was like trying to get his way in.
He wanted to be the cheerleader.
Yeah, he's like, you don't need. He wasn't an entrepreneur, but he was like, you just need a cheerleader.
Yeah.
You need someone that. I was like, do I? Is that really? Because you might not be able to handle me doing what I do, and I can't spend time with you right now. I got to go work on this.
Yeah,
it's hard. So I have a running joke with my investors. One of them is a minister in the group, and he's an ordained minister. He could marry people, right? So we have a joke like, he's like, I'm going to marry you. We're going to find you an investor. He has to have 10 properties, a believer. And I put all these parameters like, okay, he can't be this race. He has to be this race. He has to look like this. And he's like, okay, Jennifer, we're going to find you your husband. I'm like, it's like a needle in a haystack. We'll see, But
you know what you want. And that's what's important. And I told that to a really close friend of mine, and she watches this. So, hey, Babu. She's always watching, and she's a single mom. And she's something that she told me that the dating world right now is crazy. Like it's down the gutter. So she's like, am I being picky? I said, girl, no. You're in your 30s. You know what you want. You've been in previous relationships before. And now you're at a point that you know what type of man you're looking for, what type of attention that you crave from him. You're not being picky. I'm like, you just have your standards. And it's very important, to do that. And I love to hear that you constantly, whatever God says, whatever God wants from me, that's what's going to be. So I love to hear that.
Something we need to remember that God is not a matchmaker.
No.
God is nowhere a matchmaker. He only matched 2 people. That's Adam and Eve. But he will surround you with that person that's good for you.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And it's up to us to recognize them, I guess.
I think, I would have hoped that you can recognize the person, right? It's funny, like what you said, like you see the qualities and you see what attracts you, right? And you're like, oh, pues este had this, I didn't like that, but I like this about him. So next. Okay, and I think the more
the more you date,
the more
you learn.
Well, it
sounds like a TV show. The more you
date, the more you learn. Well, it's like sales. The more you get through your no's, you get to your yes.
Yeah.
So the more no's, meaning I'm not talking about like go do crazy things. No, right? We're not saying like do inappropriate.
Yeah, no,
right?
No.
I'm talking about just keep weeding out these guys.
Yes.
And girls.
Yeah. You don't have to be fornicating. No fornicating needed.
No, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the quicker you get through.
Yes.
And okay, this ain't the right partner. Boom, next. Yeah. Boom, next. You'll finally get to the yes.
Yeah. And it's funny, my friend, she's like, on one of the first dates, they went to Swallow Cliff.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, why'd you do that? And she said, because I wanted him to see me at my worst.
Oh, that's smart.
And I'm like, hey, kudos to you, because I don't let my husband watch me struggle up these stairs.
Yeah.
But it made sense because in her, in her mentality, in her mindset, she's ready. Like she's ready to be a wife. She's ready, to commit, to settle down. But it's just the men that are coming across. It's just are not meant to be settled down with. So she took him on a date, Swallow Cliff. I'm like, that's a very interesting.
She wanted to kill him. That's what she wanted to do.
No, she wanted to see if he still found her attractive. That was her thing. After being all sweaty and I'm like, that's actually really smart. I'm like, because I wouldn't bring my husband to see me. Okay. And I'm married to them, man.
Camera on me. This is shallow. What's it called?
Swallow Cliff.
Swallow Cliff. Right here. And this is what she put that man through.
To her point, it made a lot of sense.
It
makes sense. See me at my worst. And if you still like me at my worst, then a second date is acceptable.
Okay. Put him in the sauna. You see him sweat.
The sauna's not this. Have you gone to the Swallow Cliff stairs?
Do you look at me? I am not.
Okay, let me tell you. We need to take a trip there one of these days.
Well, dude, yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
No, I'm good. I like running, but like that hurts my knees.
No,
it hurts my knees too. But actually, it actually helps my knees because it builds the muscles around my knees.
You have to go to the Swallow.
So I've been there, I think twice with Martha.
Yeah. She loves it, and I've done I've done the cliff, but I was like, ooh, this is, and then I think when I went, I just finished running too. So I was like, this is kind of hurting my knees here. Like maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
You should be doing it.
You know, I do different type of work.
You got to make sure you brace those knees real good.
Yeah.
My knees are really bad, so I brace them real good.
That makes sense. And sometimes you need to do that for running and lifting and different activities. But I was like, I'm feeling something here. But I like that idea of putting someone, testing them.
Yeah.
And putting them through situations to see how you guys act with one another and treat one another, which I think is critical.
Yeah, it makes you what it made sense to me and resonated in it. I'm like, that makes sense. You don't waste your time. He doesn't waste his time. She doesn't waste his time. So if it doesn't work out on that first date, hey, whatever. I won't see you again. That makes sense.
And at the end of the day, just keep it moving.
Yeah, just next.
Just say you don't have to kill a person to find that out. That's all I'm saying.
She's looking for an athletic,
she wants
someone who's, She
doesn't want a chubby wubby.
She don't want a man, dad bod.
She don't want no scrub.
She don't want to be at Pequod's eating some pizza. You know what I'm saying? Some good, delicious pizza. That's the best pizza in the world.
You better be a foodie, bro. Like, we need to like food.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta eat food.
Let's look for the best tacos in Chicago,
bro. Seriously,
that would be an awesome trip.
If you don't like to eat, just feed me. Just buy me food. You know. But I think these young girls, something about these young girls nowadays with the dating, I'd be like, I need to learn some pointers from y'all, man. Like,
they wild.
You be for real, like Cash App. Like they don't
play. They don't play.
Dudes.
Like, I don't know. You got to pay for my nails or something. Cause my nails look a little trifling.
Man, like, oh, okay, that's what's good to take.
There's gonna be an investment up in here, boy.
Well, Jennifer Sanchez, I want to thank you for coming down to the Flava Podcast, and I want to tell you that you have flavor.
Oh, for a second I thought you were gonna like open
shake it.
Confetti.
I was like
wait a minute. That'd be interesting.
I swear for a second. Or that's just my trauma. I was like, what
who has shot at you? What have they shot at you, first of all?
I was like, whoa, adobo. Oh, this is so cute.
You got flavor
That
now.
is soon gonna be flavor. I'm working on it.
I love
flavor
that.
Hey,
so I'm working on my own line of adobo.
Hey, that is so
exciting.
Because I'm always giving these out, and I'm saying you have flavor. So I decided to, you know what? I want my own adobo. So the labels would be. I'm making it myself. The adobo, learning the ingredients, putting it together, putting a little hints of me.
Your personal.
And,
you mean like you gonna put like you gonna scratch your skin like on the thing?
Put his DNA.
It's gonna be low
Don't
sodium.
put your DNA in there.
No.
Oh, you sis gonna have a little bit of me. I'm just trying to figure out how we're gonna have a little bit of you in there. Like you gonna scrape your skin on the cheese grinder thing.
Zanies at 12 o'clock. So I'm doing that because I was asking other entrepreneurs that have their own adobo.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'll promote you. I'll promote your spot. Give me 4 a month. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, no. They were like, I'm promoting you. Give me a little tiny one.
Yeah.
They didn't want to. I'm like,
no.
Okay,
okay.
I'm promoting them, and I'm not getting no money off of them. I said, I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah. You
And
should.
now I'm loving the whole idea.
Yeah.
Like,
it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's not like the men chapstick idea that we were talking about.
Wow, you remember that? Wow.
A man chapstick.
Wait.
That's dope. I like
man.
about that.
Wait, so we went to an event.
Yeah.
Me, him, and another friend of ours, Ron Martinez from
Friend of the
Chattabytes.
show. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were sitting there and like I'm watching these grown men. All right. Now, mind you, I remember my personality. I can banter. I can hang with guys, right?
Yeah.
Because just whatever. They bust out their chapsticks. They're like, putting on their chapsticks, right?
Wasn't exactly like that. It wasn't exactly like that.
I'm pretty sure it is
It
like
was
that.
a couple of turns.
I'm pretty sure it was like that because men do a few layers. I don't know why y'all do that.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe it was Ron, but it was just like a little, like a lot of circular motion here. And I'm sitting there like, bro, what's going on right here, right? I'm the woman right here, right? And then where they were like, they were like, we need to develop our own man chapsticks, right? And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we need man chip. What did you
Man
call
chip?
I don't know. That was right on that side.
Man chapsticks or man
no.
chips. And then he's like, and it'll be spiked with like bourbon and they'll taste like
What?
alcohol. And I was like, no lie, I'll probably take it and put it myself.
Honestly, that is actually a really good idea. I want a little bourbon on my lips.
You know, but that was like,
That's hilarious.
that was so
Oh
funny. So they wanted to come up with men chapstick.
Okay. Well, hey, I go for it. I have not seen a man chap before.
What? That sounded so wrong.
A man chapstick.
Are we talking? What are we
A
talking?
man chapped.
A man chap.
A man chapped. Okay.
A man chap. A man chapstick. I never heard of that.
So I think that's a great idea. The Flava adobo.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I think it goes with the brand, what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the logo is gonna be black
I'm actually
and gold.
branching out too. So we're gonna have Flava Adobo. We got Flava Podcast. Flava the school, right?
Oh, but podcasting school, yeah.
And now Flava Sounds. Flava Sounds is that whenever someone has a conference and they just need audio,
Nice.
I provide the audio. And that just came out of nowhere. Someone, like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't do this, but
But I could.
But that's how you know you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
fill a need.
your gears are always grinding. You know, they're
Yeah.
always trying to find a way to make money.
Yeah, and you hear a need and you fill it.
boom, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, oh, this is a great idea. Why not think about that? That's what I've been taught. Don't ever just figure it out yourself and get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Jen, thank you for coming down to the Flava
Yes.
Podcast.
Yes,
Thank you.
for
It's so
having me.
fun.
I hope I made it entertaining. You know?
did.
We had a good time.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay,
A
good.
great
I'm
time.
glad.
Let me look at the camera one more time. Hey, Ron, it wasn't me talking about it. It was her about the chapstick. So when you see Jen,
I'm just saying, you know.
I mean, it was a good idea.
It was a
Ron.
good like 3 turns, and I was sitting there
she's
like,
deflated.
and
I believe it was 3 turns. I fully believe you because
Yeah.
I don't know. I've watched my son and my husband put on chapstick.
Take a lazy down.
Oh, baby, they'd be like, I'm like, honey, you don't need that much. Just one and done.
yeah, they put it on
They go,
thick. They
yeah.
layer it up there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you know,
It's not
I'm
lipstick.
I'm the woman here,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
just
not-
saying.
it's
No, I'm
not
just playing. I'm just
lipstick.
playing. You know, I'm just playing. I'm not.
It ain't lipstick, guys. It's just one and done. Just go,
Cool. Well, this is your boy Los,
And Liz.
and we are
Out.
out.
Doodles.